אוקיי, אני אתחיל בעברית ואז אני חייב לעבור לאנגלית לשם הנימוס. בוקר טוב, בוקר טוב! טוב, תודה רבה. אני יודע, פקקים, תל אביב, להגיע, 8, אני יודע שזה לא התענוג הכי גדול, אבל אנחנו מאוד מאוד שמחים לראות אתכם פה היום. Good morning, everyone. We have some speakers and guests coming from outside of Israel, so I will have the next 15 minutes in English, but just to start with a short quiz. Do you know what this is? Okay, so I just learned about it. This is something very sophisticated. A company that developed a tool like Artifactory, super smart, super efficient, a universal tool. This is what they give as a giveaway. I'm embarrassed, but this is what it does. The only thing it does is this. And yeah, you can get one in our booth. And the second one is this. I didn't know what it is. I will try my luck with you. I heard, Koske, that it's a very, very popular toy now in Japan. There was someone sitting in Japan and thinking about the next revolution, and this is what it should do. I hope that you got it on video, guys, because it didn't work for me at the beginning. Okay, just to tell you how ridiculous this thing is, I came last week from California with a bag full of these, over 300 of these for you. And as I was educated, I went through the custom, the red, the one that none of you go, ever, the red path. And I opened my bag and I said that I want to declare that I have something that I brought with me. And when I opened it, it was almost embarrassing to look at their eyes, to see the look in their eyes about someone who wants to declare this. But yeah, our giveaways. So good morning. I'm not going to take too much of your time. My name is Shlomi ben Haim. I'm JFrog CEO. I'm extremely, insanely excited to have you all here. We have 700 people here in Tel Aviv. Again, a sold-out Jenkins user conference. This year we will try to bring more content from the community and to share with you some best practices, as most of you are already using DevOps tools and software automation. In the next few minutes, I would like to share with you another thing that we see in the market, and I think that this benchmark would be a nice opening for your day, and I hope that some of the takeouts that you will take from this presentation will serve you along the day as you look at the agenda. So I called my presentation Building the Future, not just because of the fact that it's a CI server and we are building software, but also because of the fact that what happens today and what you guys are doing every day, and I know that it will sound almost ridiculous to someone outside of this community, but especially you, what we are doing today with DevOps, with software automation, with software acceleration, with the release, with the fast releases, we are completely changing the world. The world is being changed by fast releases and rapid releases. And the reason is not the fact that people have to understand what Jenkins is or what Artifactory is or what it means to build and to host and to manage software. The reason is that we are living in an on-demand world. And part of the user experience of today, unlike 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it's not just about your device. I like my iPhone. It's not just about your application. I like my Facebook application. It's also about how update my software is. So this new factor that probably most of you already recognize, but think about the next generation, they don't even have it in their process to wait for software update. And what you do today with more releases and more automation and more build per day what you do today is changing the way software is being consumed in the world and changing the user experience. So when I'm looking back about the Frog and the Butler, I think we met Koske first time when he was still in Sun Microsystem, leading Hudson, the CI server. And then at the fork, it was obvious to us that we are going with Jenkins, we are going with the community. We had the first, we called it the Build Seminar in Daniel Hotel in Herzliya, around 80 people. 40 of them were friends and family. But it was amazing to start a community around it. And for the past few years, we are working very closely in all terms. The Artifactory Jenkins plugin is super popular. This slide, actually, I took this screenshot from yesterday's stats. I don't think that it was changed. Very empowered by the community. I hope it's not falling on me. And have a very strong relationship with our partners at CloudBees, where Koske works as the CTO. But more important than just the relationship between JFrog and Jenkins is the butler who become a butler. I don't know if you understand what it means to run a community so demanding. Being able to manage so many people, millions of people that follow a project, thousands of plugins, amazing amount of support in different technologies, staying up to date with everything you do, and to be loyal to your vision, to be loyal to your roadmap, to be empowered by the wisdom of the community, and to have this happening every year, several times a year, and to take it also to an enterprise level to serve the biggest organizations in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hand together for the guy who make it work for us, Koske Kawaguchi. I know that you are modest, and there is nothing in the world that will be more associated with you thinking as the butler of the community. But if I may, speaking on behalf of the community, well, at least I know that everyone here appreciates what you do for us. Thank you. Now, it's a JFrog conference, so you have no other choice but seeing at least one slide about JFrog. And for those of you who doesn't know JFrog, we are the company behind the few products in the DevOps lifecycle. We are amphibian animal. People ask me why JFrog, and I said, well, the only reason that I can think about the frog today is because of the fact that a frog can only leap forward, and I'm very happy and pleased to be here on the 7th year. And for us, it's more than just a conference, it's a milestone. We have a hybrid solution, amphibian, living in the cloud, living on-prem. We have a universal solution. We never strived to educate you in what technology you should use. We will never try to tell you that this technology or this package is better than the other. It's just, as I said, empowered by the community. And we also, in the past 2 years, have a hybrid cloud. So if you want to run on Google or AWS or Azure, we are completely agnostic. We are the creators of Artifactory, the binary repository manager, a universal solution for your binaries. Of Bintray, the distribution platform, X-Ray, a component analysis tool that provide you with security vulnerability, license compliance, and so on. And for those of you who didn't hear yet, we released 1.8 yesterday, a very exciting version of X-Ray. If you want to hear more about it, then we have the team in JFrog booth that can show you a demo. And JFrog Mission Control, which is the admin dashboard that help you to manage your binary flow. We operate from different places in the world. but it's also a very exciting day for me. We just announced 2 weeks ago an acquisition of a company based in Washington, Seattle, and Bangalore, India. CloudMunch, they joined us and they are here. So guys, thank you for coming all the way from India. It's not just another team that joined JFrog, it's also our office in India now, and I should start to train myself saying JFrog India, very exciting. And 5 months ago, or a bit more, maybe 7 months ago, we acquired Conan from Spain, and Diego and Luis are already here as well, right? Where are you guys? Raise your hand. Somewhere. Oh, here they are. Conan is, for those of you who use C and C++, Conan is the package manager for C++ users. And basically, they brought the DevOps world into this giant community we call C++. And especially today with the IoT needs, they are running probably one of the most popular package manager in this world. So enough about JFrog. I know that that most of you already read the bullets. You're all technical guys, so you finish the slide the moment I swipe. But I want to share with you something that I think you will find fascinating. So before I'm sharing it, just to make sure that you know that I'm not biased in what I'm sharing here, I'm not going to show any of JFrog products. I'm going to speak about our community. I'm going to speak about the tool stack that you are using. I'm going to speak about open source and commercial. I'm going to speak about things that you have to look at before you set up your DevOps tool stack. And why JFrog is a company that can actually tell the future. First of all, we have 4,000 customers. And may I say, the biggest logos in the world. All industries, all sizes, and they are all using our tools. The second thing is that we have over 2 billion downloads a month on Bintray, our binary distribution platform. 2 billion a month. This traffic helps you learn something about the community and the trend. And the last thing is we also have an open source solution, so a lot of things are coming back to us from the community. So what I was trying to do when I prepared myself for this talk is to go over the past 5 months, actually January to end of May, and the 6,000 trials that we saw at the JFrog Artifactory trial form. And when you download an Artifactory and you want to evaluate it, one of the things that we ask you is what kind of integrations or what kind of tools you want Artifactory to work with. And as it is a universal tool, we have a bunch of them. You can see the trial form here. And for you guys, what I prepared today is out of these 6,000 trials, what are the trends in the market? So let's start. CI servers. Over 3,500 people out of the 6,000 check the boxes of CI servers. And this is the split. More than 50% of the market will use Jenkins. And the interesting thing about it is that usually we think that maybe big organizations will not go with open source. If you look at the enterprise that we are serving, and I'm talking about companies like Netflix and Apple and Intel and big legacy organizations, the percentage in the enterprise environment is even higher when you ask about CI server. The second thing in this category is the DevOps packages. So again, over 3,500 out of the 6,000 answered, I want to integrate with this specific package. And you see that almost 50% are evaluating or using Docker. But surprisingly, the world of RPM and Debian is still very dominant in the new DevOps world. When we look at build tools, and package managers. And probably some of you will ask, how come 7,400 or more applied on a 6,000 people community? So in our form, you can check more than one box. So it's a universal solution, and if you want Artifactory to serve you as a Docker registry or as a Maven repository, you can just check Docker and Maven, or you can just check NPM and Maven. And what you see here is that Maven is still the leading building tool in organizations. Very, very exciting to see new packages that joined lately and become more and more popular. And of course, it's just 3%, but it's 3% of almost 8,000 people saying that Conan and Cocoa Pods are packages they now need to support. Of course, comparing to last year, NPM and Gradle are running fast. The .NET community with the NuGet package manager starting to have a tool stack that apply to their needs. And if you looked before at the CI server slide and the TFS build server, so you understand that the .NET and Microsoft community start to have a tool stack of its own. On the version control end, we see more and more migration to Git. The top three are different versions of Git. Bitbucket by Atlassian is a layer on top of Git. GitLab is a layer on top of Git, and of course GitHub. So altogether, if you do the percentage here, you see that it reached almost 80%, a bit more than 80% of the market is using Git already. So version kind of being replaced, and Perforce is still with the enterprise that are using Perforce, and so Mercurial. On the deployment tools, this is very exciting news for those of you who already moved to microservices and containers and so on, but the others that are using scripting tools to do deployment will find the evolution of Ansible quite amazing. Just in the past year, they more than doubled their market share. Maybe it's because of the acquisition by Red Hat, or maybe because of the fact that it's a Python-based language, and Python become very, very popular in the DevOps world. But Ansible is going. Still, Chef is the most popular one in the deployment landscape. But what I put at the footnote, and this is just a disclaimer here, we don't count the Kubernetes numbers, but we see almost 100% of the people who use deployment tools also look at the alternatives of what the new worlds brings. And Kubernetes and other more containers friendly and less scripting technology start to take over the deployment world. So if I'm kind of recapping everything, this is the tool stack that 80% of the market will start with. When you ask, how can I measure a dominant tool in the market? The research will tell you, Gartner, Forrester, the analyst will tell you that you have to look. It's a cue for me that I have to finish. The analyst will tell you that you have to look at new business, in our world, new software projects, and to count the market share within this community. More than 80% of the new project will start with this tool stack, using Jenkins as their CI server. Obviously, today's crowd kind of showed that, pointed out. Using GitHub as their Git version control, Docker and Maven, still Java and Maven is super popular, and of course, as I said, Kubernetes by Google and Red Hat and the community is growing fast. So before I'm giving the stage to the one that you actually want to see, I just want to say that we decided to do something special this year, different than what we used to do every year. You have a whiteboard on the right hand of the hall outside. This whiteboard is open to all of you to suggest talks that you want to take between 4 to 5. The community leaders will be in all of these talks, so Koske and Fred and Yoav and the JFrog guys and other speakers. But it's your responsibility to say what you want to talk about. Somewhere around the happy hour this afternoon, we will announce the talks that were selected. And this will be between 4 to 5. So I'm welcoming you all to go and put your ideas on the whiteboard. It's not a call for paper process, it's just a community brainstorming. And this would never happen without the great partners that we have here, all the sponsors, the community champions, the people that help us bring it year after year to you in this scale. Our sponsors, the people that behind the logos, and our friends that helps us to leap forward and sponsors this event. This is a community event. There is no profit in this event, but we are very happy to see the community growing and the collaboration between the players in this market. And lastly, again, I want to thank our guests from all over the world, Diego and Luis, Conan Guy from Spain, the Cloud Munchers that now I can proudly call them JFrog Insight, that they joined JFrog just recently. And of course, Koske, never giving up on the community. This is just a joy to the eye, and again, year after year, you are coming to Israel. Just now, people maybe don't know, but you came from France, from another Jenkins user conference that we did with the French team at JFrog, and traveling with the community and for the community is never taken for granted. And with that, I want to welcome you to take the stage. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.